Hey, what's up? I'm Al Cox. I make games, play games, and everything in between. And today I'm going to give you 3 tips to get you started on your first Buildbox game. Okay, making your first game can be very tough and overwhelming, and you haven't even started yet. People tell me their game ideas all the time, and they have these very long and thorough, thought out processes of what the game's supposed to be, how it's going to look like, the names of the characters, and a storyline, and how it's supposed to have a motif that's kind of black noir. Like, all that information is great, but have you started? Starting puts you at 0 or 1, or at the very beginning at least. Your idea and what you're gonna make are very far apart at this point. And what you need to do is get the first steps done. When making one of your first games in Buildbox, I think there's 3 things you need to take into account. The first thing is, what kind of gameplay do you want? Do you want an endless game or a game with levels? If this is your first game, I strongly suggest you find a way to make endless type of game, because making multiple levels, you need to have, let's say 100 levels or 50 levels. So this takes time to do. If you can find a way to make an endless game or find a way to make levels quickly, I strongly suggest when you're making your first game, every issue you've ever thought of will come up, but more importantly, there's more issues that you never even knew existed. Deciding how to make your game from the beginning, to make it simple, sweet, and quick will help the time in which you finish the game, making you feel good about it. May not be perfect, but then you can continue along the process. So the second step for Buildbox, what's super important is, do you want the camera to follow the character, or do you want the camera to follow the screen? Be careful on which preset or template you pick. If you pick the wrong one, do 2 weeks of work, you're fucked. I've done this, it's not cool. Like, nobody wants to do this, and that's why this is super important. How do you want the camera in your game? And really take your time and think about this. And while there are ways you can have the camera do different things, you want to set up a good foundation, get moving to complete your game. The third tip is to make sure you have a clear idea of how you want the mechanics of the character to move, or the game mechanic in the game. This is probably going to be the most important piece. It will control the character in some way, shape, or form. You have joysticks, you have swiping, you have tapping, tap and hold. This is where you want to spend a lot of time in the beginning to just get the core mechanic down of your game. I know when I was making a previous game, I had tried different ways of implementing different mechanics, making advanced moves to swipe left or swipe right. The swiping feature within Buildbox already works. And so when you're making a game, you need to give yourself less problems and more solutions and keep moving forward. Knowing these 3 steps before you open up Buildbox and as you get working to it will help you immensely, because nobody wants to go back and redo a week's worth of work. And I think the biggest thing is to just keep moving forward. Try to keep things simple. There's so many things going on. That's why I think simplicity in the process will only help you learn the process better. Also, don't get lost on ideas of what you would like to see down in the future. Just, work on today, try to get something working, and then just continue on that on the next day. If you think too much down the line of how you're going to set things up in the end, you're not focusing on the beginning. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. You will make mistakes. You will make more mistakes than you think. That's, I think, one of the hardest things to get past. You need to be okay with making mistakes, and then if also you get stuck, you need to find a way to keep moving forward. I have definitely gotten stuck in some areas, didn't know how to complete, let's say, the scoring in a game in Buildbox, and I just kind of put it to the side and worked on something that I knew I could figure out. By doing this, it keeps you moving forward, because if you get stuck, then you get all in your head, and that's nowhere you want to be. You want to be applying. You want to be working on building out your game piece by piece by piece. There's a million pieces, and you got to do your best to keep moving forward. Now, go get started. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for videos, please let me know. Go get started on your game, because it's not going to start itself.